Hello, everybody, and welcome to GameCola Podcast number 26. My name is Michael Gray. I will be your host for today. And joining me is...
I'm Paul Franzen, GameCola's editor-in-chief.
I'm Elizabeth Medina-Gray, aka Lizo. I write testgame.exe, making the adventure.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Do you guys want to announce something that you guys are doing? No?
Doing? What are we doing?
You got engaged. Sorry, I was trying to...
Well, I was about to say something.
That.
Mr. Ridgeway was going to say, or he said something about that on the podcast. I don't know if you guys wanted...
Yes, Elizabeth and I, Lizo and I, we are now officially engaged.
It's true.
Yay!
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 All right.
Yay, engaged. Well, that's awesome news. I'm very happy for the both of you.
Thank you.
Okay, so on today's podcast, we will be discussing E3 2010, which was just last week, I believe.
Yep, it was. Yeah, we can blow through it real quick. There wasn't that much, really.
Yeah, no, not much happened at E3.
Yeah, I don't know. That was something I've kind of noticed in just, reading all of the various coverage of it. It didn't seem like there were a lot of real big bombshells this year.
Really?
I think especially because a lot of companies were announcing their big bombshells in the weeks leading up to E3, so that at E3 they were just showing off the games that they had already announced.
Do you have anything in particular you might be referencing, Mr. Franzen?
Well, there is one game in particular that I am particularly interested in.
Yes?
Back to the Future. Back to the Future by Telltale Games. I'm calling it right now Game of the Century.
Paul, bad news. The game's been delayed. It's been delayed 5 years.
You're just saying that. You don't know anything. You fabricate all your news. I can't
See
trust
what I did right there? 2015? That was a joke. That was a Back to the Future joke.
It was a terrible joke, and I'm kind of depressed now.
Back to the Future joke. I quit the podcast.
You quit the podcast.
And that shark still looks fake.
So yeah, Back to the Future, developed by Telltale Games, and that's pretty much all we know about the game right now. We don't even technically know the genre.
Yes, we do.
Do we?
Yeah, it was confirmed, I think. It's an adventure game.
Okay.
It's a cinematic adventure, which apparently is a buzzword now.
But it probably just means adventure game.
Well, did you see the trailer for Well, you probably didn't see the trailer.
There's a trailer?
The trailer was mostly just Telltale Games.
Oh, yeah, I saw that, where they showed off all the games that they made before, and then they were like, and we're also making Back to the Future and Jurassic Park.
Yeah, and they just showed the logo, yeah.
Yeah, and that was it.
But they dropped the buzzword cinematic adventure, so that's I've seen it 3 times in relation to this particular game. So what do you think that means? As opposed to an adventure game, they're going out of their way to call it a cinematic adventure game.
I don't know, it might just be a buzzword. It might not actually mean anything.
Like maybe just because these happen to be movies, and they've never done games with movies before. They've never used this term with any of their other games, have they? I don't think so. I've never heard.
During the preview, they said, we have brought you cinematic adventure games before.
So that indicates that they just mean it's the same as all the other games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Which is good enough for me.
I guess their games do kind of have some cinematic aspects. They do close-ups and stuff and weird camera angles.
And Tales of Monkey Island in specific had a pretty, I don't know if I would call it a cinematic storyline, but it was fairly epic. Lots of twists and turns. Not necessarily for the best toward the end, but...
Let me guess, he died. But then you still got to play as him.
You read the reviews.
I could see it coming. Come on.
Okay, I guess the game's been out long enough. Yes, in at the end of one of the episodes, the shocking twist is that he gets stabbed and is dead. And then in the episode after that, you play as him in this afterlife. Yeah. And then he's not dead anymore by the end of that because you fix him. It's really kind of lame, actually.
Oh.
Okay, question. As somebody who hasn't, played the third Monkey Island game all the way through, does Guybrush die in that game, too?
Oh, Paul, you better explain the details.
He doesn't. He fakes his own death.
Yeah, he fakes diet.
Oh, okay.
It's part of a puzzle. You have to fake your own death to get a death certificate to prove that you are dead, to collect on insurance or something like that, I think.
Oh, okay.
Do you actually get buried in a coffin?
You are entombed.
Entombed. Okay.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. And then the game pretends like it shows the end credits and everything. And then Guybrush is there in his casket saying, "No, I'm not dead."
We're talking about Curse of Monkey Island.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, so cinematic adventure. Right. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
That's
we'll see if they're saying that all of their games are cinematic, then it probably doesn't mean anything. I don't know. Maybe it could mean something a little even more storyline heavy. It could just be referencing the fact that they are making games based on movies. I don't know.
What possible storyline would you like to see for this game? 'Cause I think we could keep going on this for a while. I like Back to the Future.
I would actually like to see it take place after Back to the Future Part 3. I would like to see it be a continuation of the series instead of strictly based on the first three movies. I think that would be a little more interesting.
So are you thinking sort of the same thing as the cartoons?
I'm kind of hoping it would take the place of the cartoons in Back to the Future continuity.
So those took place after the...
They did.
Yeah.
The wacky adventures of Marty, Doc, and their wacky kids. Oh, sorry, not their wacky kids. Anyway.
Well, Marty has kids in the future.
Well, they're Doc's kids. They're not Doc and Marty's kids.
Aw, Marty's kids are just boring and don't have adventures.
You know what? Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Well, they didn't get to participate in the cartoon that much or at all. I don't know. I barely even remember it. I just remember it was... I don't know. I didn't enjoy it that much.
Marty's kids just get trained by Griff. That's all they do.
Marty's kids are just kind of failures, really.
Oh.
At least they are in the future that we see in Back to the Future too.
Yeah, and that one will get changed.
Yeah.
Well, certainly.
They might not even have kids, Marty and Jennifer, in this new future.
What are you talking about, Paul? Why would they not have kids now?
They probably would.
Okay, they might not.
Anyway,
maybe Marty. Sorry. Maybe Marty, after meeting his kids, decided that he no longer wanted to have them.
Jeez. That's not fair.
Wow. When did Marty meet his kids, though?
In Back to the Future 2.
Yeah, no, but I think Jennifer was the one in the house.
Yeah, actually.
You're right.
Well, Marty
saw his son.
Yeah.
His son.
His son for a little bit. He was impersonating him, mostly.
Yeah, and he thought he was kind of a dork.
Yeah.
I think he made a comment about that.
Anyway, I would hope with the games that it would not just be the same, like just playing through the movies, because I think that might be a little bit... I don't know, I guess there could be some fun in that, but I don't think it would be that interesting.
It could be cool, but I kind of feel like then the game might almost become too easy, because as an adventure game, I mean, what you're doing is solving puzzles to progress the story. If you already know what the story is, I mean, it might not require that much thought to figure out what you have to do to advance. Mm-hmm. Plus, personally, I've just always wanted to know what happens after Back to the Future 3. Mm-hmm. I mean, Back to the Future 3 does kind of wrap things up pretty well, but I always like to think that there are adventures following that anyway.
So do you think that if they do make some story, some continuation of the story for Back to the Future, do you think the original writers or anything would be involved?
Oh.
And would you be upset if they weren't? I don't know how I feel about that.
I think they're going to involve Robert Zemeckis, who is the producer/writer.
Okay.
Get him involved because he's the producer, and the fact that he's a writer is basically just, a bonus for them.
Right. But I mean, will he just be signing off on what Telltale does, or will he actually be involved in the creative process?
That's interesting. What happened with? Do you know what happened with the Tales of Monkey Island?
I know, actually, that's exactly what happened with Tales of Monkey Island, was that they called in Ron Gilbert to take a look at it after they had already made a great deal of progress on it. But he was not actually involved in any way in making the game.
Oh.
I bet he would have vetoed the end, also, I'm just saying. Sorry, I'm still very bitter about how the last episode of Tales of Monkey Island played out.
Well, you'll just wait for the next series of Adventures of Monkey Island from Telltale Games.
Yeah, they haven't announced that they're going to make more, but...
They left it on kind of a... They definitely left it open for more.
And I mean, they've already revisited Sam and Max a couple times, so
Yeah.
And it's their best-selling one to date, so I can't see
Right.
any reason why they wouldn't try to do more Monkey Island.
But right
I don't
now, I want to see them focus on Back to the Future and make that an amazing game. So I'm really, really looking forward to it. Back to the Future, as we've probably discussed on this podcast several times, is my favorite movie of all time. And Telltale is becoming my favorite developer, and they make games in my favorite genre. So this game is pretty... I think I am actually their target audience for this game.
I don't know, what kind of adventure puzzles could you possibly have in Back to the Future?
Who knows?
Well, yeah, I mean, again, going back to it, I guess it depends on what their story is, because, like,
Yeah.
I mean, if they do follow the plot of the first or of the three movies, pretty religiously, then it's going to be kind of hard to shoehorn in puzzles into that.
And I feel like that would be kind of boring, because...
They're not going to do that. I think that was also part of the announcement. Sorry to keep cutting you off, Lizo.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, so do we all think then it would be more interesting to see them have just further the Back to the Future story then?
I think so.
Yeah, just have random future Marty show up in a time machine.
That would be funny.
That would be awesome. Or we could have past Marty, the original Marty from... Wait. I think I discussed this with Paul. What happened to the original Marty? Or something like that? Confused all second. What happened to the Marty when Marty went back to the future? What happened to the Marty who was the son of the cool parents? The
Yeah.
ones who play tennis and they're rich and successful.
It's unclear. We see him go off, right? Because they does
Yeah.
the whole thing like at the beginning, like he's gonna start repeating what original Marty did.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I don't think that's something we can think about too hard, because does he become? He can't become the Marty we know now. There must be I guess there's like another Marty following the first Marty in his footsteps, like a little bit behind. No, maybe not. I don't know.
So that's their plot line. We've got a second Marty out the time continuum, and we need to figure out what happened to him.
Anyway, I'm curious to see what they would come up with for that. I hope it would be interesting.
Yeah, let's hope it's... Oh, I'm not going to go there. Yeah, let's hope it's interesting.
What were you about to say?
I wasn't going to slam Monkey Island for being...
Yeah, you have weird adventure game tastes. I don't understand how you can not like Monkey Island.
That was horrible.
It's the most likable game there is.
None of the jokes made sense, and neither did the puzzles. That was...
The puzzles made perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
You needed to make root beer, so you got a root. And I forget what else.
Monkey Island puzzles do have their own kind of flavor. They're a little bit less logical sometimes than other puzzles, but more on the funny side.
They're certainly a lot less logical than, for example, Nancy Drew games, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure that's true.
Yeah, I like Nancy Drew games. The new Nancy Drew game came out, and I'm actually not playing it now so I could be on this podcast, which...
Oh.
Major sacrifice.
Oh. Okay, so anyway...
yeah, what are the games showing?
Yeah, I was just going to say, Back to the Future was it actually even being shown at E3?
No.
It was announced like the week before.
It was announced before, yeah.
I don't know, since I was not personally at E3, I don't know if they were showing it, and I haven't heard any news whatsoever about it from E3, so...
They didn't show anything about it. They have I actually do some sort of research for my E3 news, so I went to Telltale's press release for E3, and it's basically just, we're making this game. It's basically, we're making Back to the Future in Jurassic Park, and that's all they said. They didn't have any screens or anything.
Okay, so a game they were actually showing at E3, the new Legend of Zelda game.
Ah, yes.
Yes, Zelda Skyward Sword.
Yes. What do you think about that game, Michael?
Well, I've written like 6 articles, I believe, so far about Legend of Zelda Wii and how it's not going to be released until 2050.
They put a date on it. They said 2011. Well, I guess that's not a date. That's a year, but...
It's going to be delayed. I'm calling it.
That's probably true.
Yeah, I mean, the trailer or demo footage or whatever they were showing, it didn't really look like there was much there. Like, I mean, just graphically speaking, everything seemed very empty and barren and kind of textureless, like they just kind of slapped it together.
And half of it was stuff from the other Zelda games. Let me just get my copy of Twilight Princess. Yeah, the last game came out in 2006, so it's been a while. They've had a lot of time to develop this game, but it doesn't look like they're pretty close to finishing.
No. Probably not.
Does that mean it's going to be super awesome, or does it mean they just haven't worked on the game at all?
I don't know. I didn't see anything in the either previews that I read or the little demo that I saw that made it look in any way particularly interesting, or really like tell me what was going on in this game that's different from the other Zelda games. Like, I don't know. It's hard to say. I kind of agree with what Paul was saying. Like, the graphics, I mean, maybe that's exactly what it's going to look like when it comes out, but it kind of looked a little bit like unfinished and...
Which, I mean, you know, the game isn't finished,
right, exactly.
So we can't be too harsh on them, but, I mean, if they're showing this at E3, you'd think they would have polished it a little more.
Yeah.
If they've had 4 years to work on this thing,
Yeah.
could have been like, no. They've been working on Toon Zelda. Yes.
The gameplay kind of looked to me like, actually, Lizo pointed this out, but I'm taking credit for it. She said that it looked a lot like this game that I was playing a couple years ago called Dragon Quest Swords, which is a first-person game for the Wii where you have the remote as a sword and the nunchuck as a shield, and you have to slash up, down, left, right, and diagonal to defeat enemies.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what it looked like, but the review that I read, it sounded exactly like that's exactly the gameplay. Like, it sounded like a lot of the combat and a lot of the puzzles have to do with, like, slashing your Wiimote in a particular way to get the sword to slash in a particular direction to defeat enemies that are either, like, vertically or horizontally oriented or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is interesting to me because that sounds very... Well, I was going to say it sounds very much like an early Wii game. Because I feel like that kind of, like, gimmicky kind of thing was coming out in droves early in the Wii's lifespan. I'm kind of surprised that they'd be going back to that now, especially for a Zelda game. Like, I could see them just making random sword game like that, but it seems like Zelda's style isn't really that. But I don't know, because I don't really like Zelda games that much, so I shouldn't talk.
I can imagine my arm getting very tired after, like, a few hours of playing. But, oh well. I mean, it's the kind of game, like, I will almost definitely buy it and play it, but I'm not sure, like, I haven't really seen anything to make me, like, super excited about it. So, I guess I'll just keep waiting and see.
Yeah. The thing with the controls is, it's actually kind of an interesting story, I guess. It has to deal with the Motion Plus, right?
Oh, yeah, I think I read something like that. Okay.
Yeah, so they added it because of the Motion Plus. Originally, the game wasn't going to have the Motion Plus, but then Wii Sports came out, and they decided, hey, the Motion Plus is awesome. Let's integrate it to the Zelda game. So,
What? I'm really ignorant. What does the Motion Plus actually do?
It makes motion controls better.
Oh, okay.
Apparently.
And you have to pay more for it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know how they did that for Zelda Twilight Princess for the Wii, because I played the GameCube version.
Oh, in the Wii version, I did play the Wii version. I mean, you just kind of waggled your remote when you were near an enemy and it attacked them. I mean, it was basically just replacing the A button with waggling. That was pretty much it. It was kind of unnecessary.
Yeah, I suppose it was.
But it was a Wii launch title, and there was nothing else for the Wii at the time, so I needed it.
It was a bad GameCube. Oh, it wasn't a bad GameCube. I'm not sure if I like Twilight Princess all that much.
I'm on the same. I'm on your boat with that opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I was actually thinking I might want to play it again because I've forgotten almost everything about it. But then again, I think that's one of the things that I'm not sure I like about Twilight Princess is that I feel like I immediately forgot everything about the story and about the game, like, as soon as I was finished playing it. Except for Midna. I really liked Midna. I thought she was awesome.
There wasn't much to the storyline.
Right. Yeah.
I think it had less characters than the N64 Zelda games.
That's probably true.
And it was like 5 times as long and as big as the N64 Zelda games. That was the problem.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of kept the same character length.
Yeah.
So, if I do a video walkthrough for that, we'll see. Yay. I'm doing a video walkthrough for Majora's Mask right now, and it's awesome.
Yay!
Yay!
So anyway, we'll just hope with the new Zelda game, they come up with some interesting stuff, an interesting story, and interesting characters, and interesting and different. Because right now I feel like it just looks like they're going for like a middle ground between like Wind Waker and Twilight Princess and kind of.
You think it's one of those things where they're trying to appeal to everyone, and in doing so, no one's going to think it's like the best thing ever? It kind
of just looks generic to me right now. I don't know. Ooh, generic? Am I not supposed to use that
I just thought that was harsh.
Oh, harsh. Well, like I said, I mean, it's not finished, clearly. What we've seen is not the final game, and it really didn't show very much of it, so.
Maybe it was just too early for Nintendo to be showing it off. I know it sounds bad to say because, as you have been reporting for a long time, Michael, it's been in development for a long time, or it should have been in development for a long time, but I don't know. Again, this is coming from someone who has played like the first half hour of every Zelda game, and that's about it. So, I mean, my opinion's not worth that much in this, but it did look like, that they maybe should have let it sit on the burner a little longer before dishing it out.
Okay, so what else happened at E3? We have all sorts. Well, Nintendo, I actually saw their press conference. I didn't see the other 2 press conferences, but Nintendo, GoldenEye for the Wii. I think people are excited about that.
Yeah. Now help me clarify this. Is this a brand new GoldenEye game, or is it a remake?
It's a brand new GoldenEye game.
It's a brand new GoldenEye game, really?
Yeah, but obviously there are going to be a lot of similarities between that and the N64 version.
Well, I just hope there aren't a lot of similarities between that and GoldenEye Rogue Agent for the PS2 that came out 2004, 2005. Because this is not the first new GoldenEye game.
I never played GoldenEye 64, so I couldn't tell you about the similarities. Right. They talked about stuff and characters that would appear in this game, who I guess are from the N64 version. I don't know.
The N64 one was really cool when I was in middle school. I went back and played it last year. I wasn't really getting into it as much. And the PS2 one, GoldenEye Rogue Agent, was just really garbage. It was very obvious that they just wanted to make a James Bond game, call it GoldenEye, and have it sell a zillion copies. They didn't actually want to make a good game. So that's what makes me nervous about this GoldenEye for the Wii, is that maybe they're just going to do the same thing and everyone's going to forget that they already did that before and everyone got burned before.
I actually saw the trailer twice, believe it or not, which is crazy. Because it's the first minute of the trailer is like them talking to a focus group about the original.
Yeah, I saw that, and I started watching that. I'm like, this isn't where's the game?
Yeah, and the game comes out the gameplay shows up like a minute later in the trailer. Okay, what else do I got?
I don't know. I'm sure a lot of people are getting very excited about that. So, again, let me reiterate: don't. What else happened at E3?
Paul, you wanted to talk about Epic Mickey?
Oh, I don't know. The preview I was reading from Joystick.com was talking about how the gameplay itself just seemed like generic platformer number 6, but the story seemed kind of cool. It involves Mickey being transported to the land of basically lost and forgotten Disney characters, and then the main boss is some big time cartoon star from like the 1920s or 1930s or something, who has completely fallen off the map and is upset about that.
You mean that rabbit character that Walt used to work on before Warner Brothers? What happened is Warner Brothers or some other company kind of pulled a really cheap move on Walt Disney after he produced these cartoons for them, and they stole all the rights to the character and kind of left him poor and alone.
Oh.
Well, that stinks.
So that was his impetus for starting Mickey Mouse, is because he was kind of booted out of the other place.
Huh.
So does that mean this game is kind of like Mickey Mouse versus Bugs Bunny?
Yeah, but it's not Bugs Bunny. It's
So that would be a
whoever
pretty cool
it
game
was.
too.
I'm totally forgetting who it was. And Disney finally got their rights to those cartoons after like 70 years.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think it looks kind of interesting.
Mhm. They had a 10-minute presentation for it. That was part of the press conference, but they had the guy playing through the game for like 5 minutes of the 10-minute presentation.
Did it look awesome?
It looked awesome. It looked okay. I'm more interested about the platforming parts, like the 2D platforming stages than the 3D platforming one myself.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see, we have new Donkey Kong, new Kirby,
Oh,
and
the new Kirby game looked pretty cool, I thought.
it did?
You didn't think so? What
It's based off string?
Yes. He like uses a whip of yarn, and he whips his opponents, and then he, I don't know, balls them up and throws them at other people. What's not to love?
As somebody who's not a Kirby fan, I don't really understand who Kirby is.
Yeah, I'm not a
or
Kirby
that
fan
sort of
either.
thing.
I thought the visual style looked great, and they said 2-player co-op side scroller, so I was already on board when they said that.
It looks like the Yoshi Island's visual style.
Well, Yoshi's Island is also a great game, so that's fine.
It did. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I'm excited about it. I want to learn more about that game as well, and maybe check it out when it comes out. See if I can get Lizo to play it with me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll play it. It looks really cool. I like
Yeah.
yarn.
There was also, I think there was a game that Lizo wanted to talk about called Journey.
Oh yeah, it's the new That Game Company game, makers of Flower, and their game before that was Flow, and they had another one before that I don't think anyone's ever played. But so I guess this Journey game, they said something about it being single player and or multiplayer online, and something about an emphasis on the journey, I guess, because that's the name of the game, and like interacting with other players and sort of building your own experience, I guess. But the thing that kind of worries me about that is that I don't trust a lot of people who are online playing games. So I'm kind of hopeful that there will be a turn other people off setting. So I'm definitely going to be checking out that game, since I'm a big fan of That Game Company. They make me very happy.
The Flower, number 45 on our top 50 games of all time list, and I believe Lizo was the only person to vote for it.
Solely because of me.
But she voted for it for number 1. She likes it that much.
Yay, it's my favorite. So yeah, I'm extremely curious. It has like the screenshots I was seeing. It has like a very desert sort of look, very cel shaded. I guess they're going for a lot of sand and cloth physics and pretty things and puzzles and places to explore, and I don't know. It just looks really cool and different. I like new and different. I'm excited about games that do things different and new. So yeah.
Yeah.
Next.
Next.
I want to know what you guys think about Ocarina of Time for the 3DS, the 3D version of Ocarina of Time.
Dun 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 dun. I'm hesitant about that because I didn't like the Super Mario 64 DS. I'm gonna come out and say that was a bad game.
Oh.
Interesting.
Now, what made it bad?
Let me see. The game is designed. You can play as Mario, Yoshi, Luigi, or
I think Wario.
Yeah, Wario. What? And this is based off a game which you're only supposed to play as Mario, so that doesn't really work if that makes any sense. So I mean, you could just skip through everything as Yoshi because he has the superpower jump. And the camera wasn't that good because the camera was there really was no need for you to have a touch screen in that game.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of thinking it might be more interesting, or it might have been more interesting as like as a downloadable like WiiWare game or something. I don't know. I always thought it looked kind of interesting, but I never actually played it.
it's kind of interesting, but I didn't really enjoy it. I guess I would have preferred like a straight remake of Super Mario 64. Although I don't really see why there was a need to remake the game in this place. So if they do the same thing with like Legend of Zelda, I'm not sure I'm going to like it.
You think whatever gimmicky stuff they do with the 3D graphics might hinder the game?
I'm thinking more like, say they make Yoshi a playable character.
Or how about Navi? Who plays Navi?
Navi. I like her, so I wouldn't be too upset with that. I'm one of the 3 people who like her.
Yeah, I'm not as upset with her as many people are. So.
What if Tingle was your main character?
No, he's not in that game. He wasn't introduced here until the next game.
Oh.
And that's where Zelda went downhill.
Oh.
First he introduced Tingle, and then it was just a jump to Toon Zelda, and then everything is Toon Zelda's train adventures.
Oh
yeah, that was the big Zelda game they were showing at last year's E3.
And in realistic, Zelda gets delayed another 50 years.
Well, yeah, I mean, Zelda rides around on a plane is next year, really.
Yeah.
Zelda in space, perhaps?
Ooh, that actually sounds interesting.
I bet she meets up with Josie and the Pussycats up there, I think.
Yes.
Wow.
Now, what if Back to the Future had outer space adventures?
Can the DeLorean go into outer space?
It can fly.
But can it go that high?
I don't know.
I prefer much more the time travel adventures.
Yeah?
Yeah. Actually, going back to that, I wonder if they're going to do something like Day of the Tentacle game with it, where you have Doc in one time period, Marty in another time period, and they have to work together, trade items to one another, etc. That would be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
You just want another Day of the Tentacle.
I do just want another Day of the Tentacle.
Seriously, Paul, what was so great about Day of the Tentacle?
Oh.
You joking?
That's where we got into a fight.
I don't know that we should get into this.
I know. I mean, I saw the video walkthrough. It seemed okay, but some of the puzzles seemed ridiculously weird. And poor Laverne got no airtime whatsoever.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bad for her.
And by the time you get to her, the game's like mostly over.
Yeah. But I thought that, yes, some of the puzzles were really ridiculous, but they were also kind of cool. I don't know. I liked a lot of the way a lot of the puzzles came together in that game. I don't know. Mm-hmm. And it's funny. I like the funny.
Yeah, I like funniness too.
Yeah.
I hope the Back to the Future game is funny.
I think it will be. You, Michael, you were wrong. I think Telltale has proven time and time again that they make good, funny adventure games, and I think they will excel with this one as well.
I don't know, that Monkey Island game, there's only like 1 or 2 jokes, which really...
You didn't get that. Did you even beat that one? Did you even beat the first one?
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Whole way through. No, I think I told you, I played for like an hour, and then I watched the second half of the game on YouTube. And it was so much easier not having to solve the puzzles, so I could I actually enjoyed it more. I enjoyed it more because, I didn't have to worry about figuring out what was going on. So that was nice, actually. I kind of liked it better when I wasn't playing it, if that makes any sense.
Well, I mean, again, I think this is something I've talked about in here before, but I've found that the most fun way to play adventure games is to play it with another person. Like I've had so much more fun playing adventure games lately with Lizo than I did before just playing them by myself. Each taking turns being the person controlling, and then both brainstorming what the heck we're supposed to be doing next.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then both giving each other permission to just look it up online after we think about it for 10 minutes and can't figure out what's going next. What's happening.
See? You had to look everything up online because...
Not everything.
Not everything at all. Couple times per episode, except for that one horrible puzzle with LeChuck in that one game.
Right, exactly.
What's this? Horrible puzzles? You say there are horrible puzzles?
There is a horrible puzzle. I guess again, it's been long enough that I can get into this. There's this puzzle where you are trying to pry...
This is in the second Or third game.
Yes.
I don't remember.
It's in the second or third game.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
It's in Tales of Monkey Island. You have to pry this turtle off of this big stand, a metal turtle, I should say, not a living turtle, like a turtle statue.
I don't remember that part. Anyway, go ahead.
Is that what it is?
I don't know. You have to do something.
You have to pry the turtle off. Guybrush is not strong enough to do it, and you have to get LeChuck to help you with it. But when you tell what is it? It's when you talk to LeChuck, it's when you use the item that you have a crowbar or something like that. You use that on LeChuck to try to tell LeChuck to do it. Guybrush says, "No way, I am not going to ask LeChuck for help." But then there is the way to solve the puzzle is that there is a dialogue option with LeChuck where you ask him for help.
Yeah.
Which I found very upsetting.
Dialogue options in that game were weird.
It's either that or I might have those two mixed up, but the so basically is that if you try it one way, Guybrush says, no way, there's absolutely no way I'm asking LeChuck for help, and the actual answer is to ask LeChuck for help.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, that's kind of weird.
I thought that was kind of awful. That was kind of a game stopper for us where we tried to figure out what was going on.
Well, I mean, this was something you mentioned in your review. You kind of liked the dialogue options, and I didn't kind of like how he never said what you picked.
Oh, that's like one of the best parts of the game. I think that's great. Because then there's the greater opportunity for humor there, where you're surprised by the dialogue. You know, instead of just seeing 3 humorous lines on the screen, you click on which humorous thing you want to say. You have 3 less humorous things, and then you get the surprise of the comedic line when he actually says it. I think that works great.
But what's the point of even giving you options if he's just going to say whatever joke they have in mind anyway?
Well, you're choosing what he's going to talk about. You're not necessarily choosing the exact words he's going to use, but you're still directing the conversation. The original Sam & Max does something like that too. You don't see any dialogue at all. At the bottom of the screen, it just shows you several icons. One is for make a statement, one is for ask a question, and there's various ones for talk about these different items. And you just click on those icons, and then Sam just says whatever he wants to say, but about the topic you asked him to talk about. So, I don't know. I like it when games do that. I think it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess it also doesn't really work as a comedy if you don't think the dialogue in the game is funny to begin with.
Well, no, I mean, I think I'm more used to adventure games where it's basically the dialogue is there are 3 or so plot points they want you to talk about. And you can choose which order you want to talk about. You can choose the order you talk about these things in, but at the end of the day, you're going to talk about all 3 of those things before the conversation is over.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think Monkey Island still does a lot of that too.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I like the way they handled the dialogue in Curse of Monkey Island better. To complement the original Monkey Island game. That's kind of good.
Good job. All right, so is there anything else from E3 that we want to talk about?
How do you think the Nintendo 3DS works? Because I never actually saw it in action.
Ooh.
Well, I can tell you this. I know that the bottom screen is still just the regular static touch screen, and the top screen is the 3D popping out at you with no glasses.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know much beyond that.
And there's a slider which controls the 3D effect.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so I mean, if you want to, you can completely turn off the 3D effect. But what's the point?
But I don't remember them actually, I don't think I've ever seen them actually show video of the 3D effect, which makes me think that perhaps it doesn't work on video.
Well, it would be kind of hard to see online. I mean,
yeah.
I know they were demoing a few games. They were demoing Star Fox 64 in 3D.
Oh no. They're remaking that game too?
That was a great game. I'm curious to see how that works out.
It was a multiplayer game, I think, was... I don't know.
The multiplayer... I don't know. Some of it was cool. I will say that the multiplayer when you're flying around was cool. The multiplayer, the tanks. And actually, all of the tank levels in that game were just bad.
Yeah, so I just remember when I was younger, everybody played the multiplayer with the flying around, and that's all they played of the game.
I don't know. I mean, I enjoyed it well enough. I haven't played it in a very long time, but I would be curious to see how a 3D remake of that played out. I'm guessing the ship is popping out at you, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
So that's weird. I don't know how the 3D effect is going to work. I don't know how 3D works. I haven't seen any of the 3D movies since the 3D craze hit.
Me neither.
So,
Yeah, neither of us have. Neither me nor Lizo. I always kind of want to, but Lizo won't go see the 3D movies with me.
Too scary.
I want to see Toy Story 3, but I don't want to see it in 3D, so if
They're showing it in non-3D. We actually just saw it.
Yeah, we saw it today.
Yeah.
Not 3D.
So I'm probably... Okay, well that's good that it's being shown in non-3D, because
Yeah.
Cheaper, too.
that's the version I'm going to see.
Yay!
It's awesome, by the way.
I figured it would be.
Yeah. Pixar doesn't generally do wrong.
Yes.
We'll just forget about Ratatouille for now.
Hey, it's not that
Oh, you don't like Reddit?
Not that
I fell asleep halfway through.
Yeah, I did too.
Nemo is the one I don't like.
What? You're crazy.
Nemo, I just hated all of the main characters.
No! Nemo's one of the best.
Nemo is
Monsters Inc.
So is
Toy Story 2.
I don't know about Monsters Inc.
Monsters Inc. is my favorite.
No.
Monsters Inc. was good.
It's
The
awesome.
Toy Story movies, Up, obviously.
Obviously.
Up needs to be on that list.
WALL-E's good.
WALL-E, I don't think Michael liked WALL-E very much.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Oh, I thought I remember you writing something about it.
I make jokes. I was kind of annoyed how everybody says it's the best movie of all time.
I think most people have forgotten about it by now.
No, that's what the jokes were about.
Yeah, I think you made a joke about how much merchandise there was. And
what?
I think you made a joke about how much merchandise there was for the movie and how that was kind of ironic considering the movie's premise.
Yeah, that was the joke I was making, and you'll notice that immediately after that the economy died. Immediately after the movie, this big blockbuster movie about how you shouldn't go out and buy stuff anymore, the economy died. I'm like, coincidence? Probably.
Oh. Anyway.
All right, what other E3 games? Portal 2.
Okay.
Portal 2.
Another game that I will definitely buy, even though I don't know too much about it. It sounds like they'll have more puzzle mechanics.
I think there's more stuff that you can do besides just the portal gun now.
I think so. More the same characters, but more characters apparently. Something cute and funny and British, from what I've read.
Actually, Lizzo, I have a question for you about this game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Michael Gray here has repeatedly referred to this game as a shooting game.
What, Portal?
Yeah.
I have?
Yeah, well...
Looks like a shooting game. Do you walk around carrying a big, huge gun?
Well, yes, there actually are parts...
Shooting game!
There actually are parts where you do shoot at things, but I don't like first-person shooters at all. That's the only... I mean, I guess it must qualify as a first-person shooter, right? Because
it's more like a first-person puzzle game.
But you play first-person.
I don't know. People say that the Metroid Prime games don't count as first-person shooters, so I got to think if those don't, Portal shouldn't either.
Well, in any case, there are actually parts where you use your portal gun and shoot at things,
do you shoot bullets
kill them.
ever?
No.
No, not bullets.
No bullets.
No bullets, no lasers.
Just portals.
Metroid Prime games, you don't shoot bullets.
Oh.
And I think those are first-person shooters. Yeah, Samus doesn't have bullets. She's in the future. She has lasers.
Very different. It's a very different thing.
That's very different. Anyway.
She has an X-ray mask, so you can watch everything in X-ray, and then a heat-seeking mask, so you can see everything heat-seeking style. But yeah, it's all first-person.
So yeah, they were showing Portal 2. Again, that's another one of those things where they announced it a month before E3 instead of dropping the bombshell at E3. I feel like that was kind of a theme this year. What big games were actually announced? GoldenEye. GoldenEye remake. I mean, nothing really big, you know?
Kirby, Donkey Kong, Kid Icarus.
Nothing big, though.
Kid Icarus. I thought you were happy because you called that, Paul.
I've been predicting that at E3 for 3 years now.
What is Kid Icarus? It's just an NES game?
It's an NES game where you jump on platforms and you jump upward and shoot stuff with your bow. Actually, I don't even know if you do shoot stuff. Probably do. Yeah, it's basically an up and down platformer. I don't know. I don't think I even liked it that much.
That's really funny.
I haven't played it for a very long time. But yeah, Kid Icarus, that's another one they showed off for the 3DS. I did watch a trailer for that, and not really sure what I mean, besides the main character, what it actually has to do with Kid Icarus.
Yeah, that's basically the sense I got.
Doesn't really look anything. I mean, obviously it's not going to look like the NES game, but I mean, like the gameplay doesn't even look at all similar.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and something I just thought of for Legend of Zelda 3DS.
yes.
If they do the remake, they should. They didn't actually. I don't think they actually got to finish the original Zelda game. The original. Specifically, I'm thinking about Zora's Domain. After you finish the water temple, it's still frozen.
Oh.
Because they didn't. They said it would have taken them like another 3 months to program in what would happen afterwards. So I want to know what would happen afterwards.
That's a good point. Yeah. This will be a good opportunity for them to do that.
But will they take it?
But will they? This is the challenge. Nintendo.
Will they, or will they just make it boring and frozen still?
Well, they certainly added a lot of things to Mario 64 when they remade that for the DS, so...
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But is it adding stuff that makes sense to the plotline, or is it... Will they change
It's just going to be like Link pops out at you.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It seems weird to me to add 3D to a video game that wasn't 3D in the first place. I'm not really sure how that works.
So yeah, I guess it'll be interesting to see when the 3DS comes out and we can figure out if it actually works, and maybe we can figure out how it works.
No, I mean, I'm definitely very curious about it. I'm really interested to see, exactly how it works, if it works. Whether it actually adds to the games, like whether the games benefit from it, or whether it's just kind of tacked on like a lot of Wii games are with their motion controls, and like a lot of DS games are with their touch controls.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, Nintendo kind of has Nintendo systems kind of have a history as of late of just using weird stuff like that as a gimmick instead of making it an interesting game that requires it.
Yeah. We'll see. No Mario games for the 3DS were announced, though, which I found surprising.
That's true.
Were there?
I don't think so.
Well, there isn't like a Mario series for the DS, though, so...
Well, yeah, they had New Super Mario Brothers before.
Yeah, and before that it was just Mario remakes for the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh. Interesting.
It's the Mario remake series. So.
Well, the DS also got Yoshi's Island 2.
Huh.
Which
I mean, I like
bad.
Super Princess Peach was pretty good.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was a neat game where you use Princess Peach's wild, out of control emotions to defeat bad guys.
All 4 of them.
You like poke a button and you make her really, really angry, so she sets things on fire. It's kind of a weird concept.
You make her angry, you can make her sad, and what are the other 2? The other 2 are the same thing, which is happy and contented. Those are the other 2 emotions. Like, isn't that the same thing? No. One refills your life, and the other makes her float up into the sky. Okay, so that's...
Sadly, they have not announced a new Super Princess Peach. What about Super Toad?
Oh, yeah.
Toad's fallen out of the picture. I've been complaining in Super Mario Galaxy 2 that Toad isn't around. They replaced him with the useless Toad Brigade.
The Toad Brigade?
It's like a group of toads, and they show up every now and then in these galaxies, and you can talk to them, and they're supposed to be able to help you, but they don't really. They're more like, you talk to the Toad Brigade captain, and he's like, oh no, there's a scary monster over there, I'm scared. And that's all he has to say. It wasn't very useful. It didn't help me figure out how to beat them.
Yeah, Toad has just been disrespected for a very long time now.
Oh,
It's terrible.
he appeared in New Super Mario Brothers Wii. Blue Toad and Yellow Toad.
The two fake Toads.
Toad wannabes.
Mm-hmm.
Peach was kidnapped in that game, right? That's why she's not one of the characters.
Yeah. You have to rescue her.
Wow, what an original plotline.
Oh, whatever. I wasn't exactly expecting an original storyline from a side-scrolling Mario game, especially.
Well, I guess they tried to add a little bit of plot in Super Mario Galaxy 2. Or maybe I've just been making stuff up, but when Bowser appears, he steals the princess, and he says, you know what? She's going to be making cake for me from now on. And I just started screaming and yelling about how horrible Bowser was because I wanted cake.
Do we ever even get cake in Mario 64?
It's at the ending credits after Peach is after she is saved. She kisses Mario on the nose and says, "Come on, everybody, let's go bake a cake for Mario." And they walk into the castle, and then the ending credits roll.
I like how that's Princess Peach's character trait, is that she likes baking cakes.
The cake is a lie.
Yeah.
I've had that comment like 5 times already on my walkthrough, just because I keep mentioning the cake.
That's really funny.
People still say that? Wow, that got old like several years ago.
What is that? Is that something?
It's
I
from
know.
Portal.
It's a Portal thing.
Yeah, it's a Portal thing.
Is there like cake in the game? Do you shoot cake?
The thing with the cake in Portal is that as you're playing the game, you go through all these levels and play these puzzles that you have to beat, and your incentive is that this computer voice who's telling you what to do keeps telling you that if you get to the end there'll be cake and that's your reward. But then, yeah, the cake is a lie. Spoiler alert. That's what the phrase means.
So it's Mario
reference. I think because when you get farther in the game, don't you like see it scrawled in the walls from people who have been through this before, saying that the cake is a lie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in the end, there's a little video with cake, so maybe it wasn't. I don't know.
I like cake, and I really hope there will be cake at the end of Super Mario Galaxy 2.
Maybe you'll find Bowser and defeat him, and then you'll find the hordes of cake that he will have made Peach make and keep in a room for him, and then you'll get to eat it.
I actually got in a debate about Mario and cake actually on the same video. Does Mario really want to save the princess, or is he just in it for the cake?
Good question.
Well, you got to think there would be easier ways for him to find cake.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But, yeah, that's a good point.
Maybe, I mean, is Mario, like, not smart?
I don't know. Well, you know...
Has no one explained to him bakeries?
It's an interesting concept.
Well, maybe cake is a rarity in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Super Mario Galaxy 2 seems to be, for like the first time, saying that Mario and the princess are an official couple, like boyfriend and girlfriend. The phrase "special someone" does get used.
Whoa.
Finally, it's been 25 years or something.
Yeah, but Mario doesn't say anything, so I don't know if it's just this character assuming that Mario is in love with her or not.
Are there any other E3 games we want to mention? Little Big Planet 2? That would be cool. Maybe. Possibly.
Yeah, Little Big Planet 2 looks neat. They're expanding the level creation tools quite a bit to allow you to make different genres of games instead of just side-scrollers, which I guess is cool. I mean, the part of Little Big Planet I liked was actually the story mode, the main mode that comes packaged with the game. I mean, I have zero interest in making games myself, and I only kind of dabbled in some of the downloadable stuff. Mm-hmm. But
that other people made. Yeah.
But I'm kind of looking forward to it in general, just because.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's just a fun multiplayer side-scrolling game.
Same.
Actually, I mean, since they can make different genres, does that mean the single-player mode is going to have like all kinds of different weird stuff in it now?
Who knows?
Because that could make it a worse game.
I guess we'll find out.
So they were showing that off. They were also showing off a game that I am now looking forward to that I wrote about on GameCola a couple days ago, based on the movie Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yeah, I saw the preview for that. That was one of the things I was going to mention in my review of Prince of Persia movie. Because I meant to take a notepad and take notes, and I had notes that I wanted to write on that preview for Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Mm-hmm.
All the other previews, my notes were okay, we have 25 minutes of previews. I hate this. But Scott Pilgrim versus the World, my note was, they need more movies with pink-haired characters.
Yes, absolutely. Her hair is awesome.
Yeah.
My hair was pink once,
I did not know this.
In high school, I dyed my hair pink, bright Barbie pink.
Do we have pictures that we can put as the picture for this podcast?
We have pictures, but I don't know if we're going to be sharing them.
Oh.
Also green. I did green a couple times too.
Really?
And kind of like a brick red color as well. Oh yeah, I was big into hair dyeing for a year in high school.
I would never dream of dyeing my hair.
Oh, it was so much fun. It got me a lot of stares. Especially when I had my bright pink hair, and then I'd wear this neon green shirt that I had, and these baggy banana yellow pants.
Wow, Paul. Wow.
Oh, I think we need pictures now.
Wow.
I don't have a picture of that outfit at all, I'm sorry to say.
I'm gonna have 50 comments on this video asking for the pictures.
It's not happening.
Okay. What is it about this game? It's just...
Yeah. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I don't know. It looks like classic beat-em-up side-scroller, from the Super Nintendo Genesis era, like a Final Fight or a Double Dragon. But
City Ransom.
What?
River City Ransom?
Yes,
That's
River City Ransom also. I don't know. I really like those games. This one seems to be in that vein, but also with modern-day sensibilities. It seems to be a little bit poking fun at itself and other genres and other games. And I guess it has a story or something that has to do with... I don't know anything about that. It involves beating up boyfriends.
Yeah.
She has 7 evil exes that he needs to beat in order to go out with her.
Which seems to lend itself pretty well to a video game.
Yeah, really. The graphic style looked pretty cool, too. Pretty unique and interesting.
And 4-player co-op.
Oh, cool.
See, I don't know, you might be noticing a theme where I really dig the multiplayer co-op side-scrollers.
Yeah.
Big into that. That's why I knew Super Mario Brothers last year was my game of the year last year. I liked it even more than Tales of Monkey Island.
But that didn't have online co-op.
No, I played it all offline.
Oh. I didn't get to play it because I don't have anybody to co-op with.
Oh. I played it with my daddy.
Oh. I tried calling your dad, but he never returns my phone calls.
Actually, a lot of the game amounted to me beating all the levels while he put himself in a bubble.
Yeah.
Said he was doing it accidentally, but...
I know it seemed like an interesting game, but what platform is Scott Pilgrim coming out for?
I think it's a PlayStation Network downloadable game.
What is the PlayStation Network? Because I had to report a lot about the PlayStation Network.
Well, you know WiiWare, right?
Kind of.
Okay. Well, it's that. All the 3 consoles have it. Nintendo has WiiWare, Xbox has Xbox Live Arcade, and PlayStation has PlayStation Network. They all just let you download these smaller than retail games for $5 to $15 a piece.
Okay.
They're all really neat actually. When they for the longest time there weren't that many interesting downloadable games, but there are quite a few on all 3 systems now that I dig.
The Phoenix Wright games. So with the Phoenix Wright remakes that they had that I could download on my Wii, that was that?
Yes, that was WiiWare, yeah.
Okay, so I guess I do know what it is.
That's actually Portal came out for Xbox Live.
Yeah.
What is Xbox Live? Is that different from the WiiWare system?
It's on Xbox.
What's Xbox Live and then Xbox Live Arcade?
Oh, well, Xbox Live is the actual online service that you log on to Xbox Live to play games online or to buy games. And then Xbox Live Arcade is what you actually purchase the games on.
Interesting. I'm learning so much.
So that you're seeing a lot of neat co-op side scrollers, and that there's like Castle Crashers and our downloadable game of the year for 2009, Trine. And speaking of which, Trine 2 was being shown at E3 also, which looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
What was the one that was the 4-person adventure game?
Oh, Blue Toad Murder Files?
Yeah, that one. That sounded so interesting. Did it come out?
Yes, it did come out. I actually didn't end up playing it, though, because it looked almost more like a Professor Layton style, a lot of Professor Layton style puzzles.
Now, see, I think this is why we just disagree on Tales of Monkey Island. It's because I can handle those puzzles. I prefer those puzzles.
Well, see, maybe you and I should play that game. I don't know. It probably doesn't have online, but you and I should play that so you could do that stuff for me.
Yeah. So we'll have to plan for that, I guess. Question: did you end up getting Super Smash Brothers Brawl or whatever?
No, not yet. Not yet. It came out like 2006, 2007. No, I mean, I'm still tempted just by the again the side scroller mode, story mode, whatever it is. But I don't know. I'm not tempted enough to actually go out and buy it, and I was thinking about trading or getting it off of the trading website I use, Goozex, but it's still going for a lot of points on there too, so probably not even going to bother.
Okay. I was just wondering, because if you ever got it, I was going to get it from the library and try the online co-op mode.
Well, I'll let you know.
Yeah. I don't know, I didn't like it very much, but I didn't understand it. Now that I've watched Earthbound, I've seen... You finished your Earthbound walkthrough.
I did.
Paul.
I finished it.
Shit.
It took me 8 months, I think.
Good
Save
job.
the world.
The videos are all being posted now. I think I saw we're up to video 103, I believe.
Yes.
Of 116, yes. I recorded 116 videos of me playing Earthbound.
Awesome.
Good job.
And there was a special guest appearance by Lizo at the end, too.
Yeah, if you get through all the videos,
Yes.
that'll be your reward.
If you watch the first 115.
Might as well stick around for Lizzo, yeah.
Yes. There you go. Perfect.
I was actually kind of disappointed because I heard Michael Ridgway talk about the end of the game on a previous podcast. So I guess I can talk about that now that it's not a spoiler to Mr. Paul.
Yeah, I skipped that part of the podcast.
But apparently there's supposed to be a sound clip of Ness talking at the very end.
Did I miss something, maybe?
At the end of the game, he says something like, "I miss you." You just get a little sound clip of Ness saying, "I miss you," and Michael Ridgway was talking about how that comes at the very, very end of the game, and it always makes him tear up.
There actually was a little bit that occurred at the very end, but I had actually stopped recording at that point.
So you missed Michael Ridgway.
I probably missed the best part of the game.
You missed the part that makes Michael Ridgway cry.
Yeah.
It's just like when you talked over the end of Monsters, Inc. when we watched it. So
you talked over the ends of Monsters, Inc., Paul.
All did. It was
Maybe.
bad.
I was probably making a really hilarious joke at the time, though, so...
I was working at the movie theaters when that came out in 2001, so I got to see the ending 50 times. I saw the ending 20 times before seeing the actual movie.
Wow.
So that was interesting. So I guess the surprise twist at the end wasn't a surprise twist after all.
I don't even remember the movie anymore.
Well, we'll watch it again sometime.
How could you forget Mike and Sully?
They're awesome.
The thing that bugged me about Monsters, Inc. when it came out, and everybody's talking about how it's so original, and they've had monsters on Sesame Street for the past 40 years, but that apparently was forgotten.
Yeah, but see, the Sesame Street monsters are evil, and they eat people.
Yes. Whereas monsters in Monster Inc. are just nice.
Oh, okay, we should probably wrap up E3 soon, because we're already kind of going pretty long here.
Alright, what other E3 things? Last any more games anyone wants to
let's see, they're making a new Donkey Kong Country, another co-op side-scroller. This apparently is the year of co-op side-scrollers, which is kind of awesome. They were showing Rock Band 3 with the new keyboard peripheral.
Yep. Rock Band 3 is going to be awesome.
Probably. I don't know. I'm still kind of on the fence about the whole Rock Band thing. I'm kind of annoyed at them, actually, because when I bought Rock Band, I was doing it under the impression that they weren't going to do the annual releases and that they would just keep updating Rock Band 1, because I read an interview where they said that, and they were slamming Guitar Hero for doing the annual releases thing. So I felt a little betrayed when they started doing it themselves.
Yeah,
Plus, I'm still waiting for the Rock Band where they just let me play songs that I like.
That's never gonna happen.
Because I was getting into the story mode, or I don't know, career mode or whatever of Rock Band 1, of us playing our little band and going on tour and stuff, but I got to the point where all of the levels that were left involved songs that I didn't really want to play because I didn't like them. So I think it would be great if there was a Rock Band game where that didn't happen. I mean, they have an enormous song library at this point, so I would think that a little more customization there would be possible, but I'm not sure it's ever going to happen.
We'll see. I'm sure it's going to be an awesome game. I'm not going to play it, but I'm sure it's going to be great.
Let's see. I'm checking over my little notepad file here if there's anything else.
League karaoke, Paul. You wanted to talk about that.
I don't know that I wanted to talk about it.
You wanted me to mention it, at least.
Yeah, they're making a karaoke game based on the TV show Glee.
Yay.
Yeah. Glee has had its moments of wonderfulness, and it's also had its moments of stupidness.
I haven't seen Glee, but I'm told I should like it because it's High School Musical.
It's
and I like High School
probably better than High School Musical. I like that. Like, the characters are likable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Are you saying that the characters in High School Musical 3 aren't likable? With their inherently hilarious dialogue?
But, okay, the problem with Glee, though, at least and this is getting a little off topic.
A little.
I'm just going to say that the writers are they must be on some sort of drug. Or they're not on drug, perhaps. They're not taking their ADD medication anymore because they cannot spend more than, half an episode on one storyline. Like, they'll go from, there was a character who was adopted, and she was going to meet her mother, so they'll go through, I want to meet my mother, to, who's my mother, to, oh, there's my mother, to, I don't want to be with my mother anymore, in the span of, an episode and a half. So, kind of wish they'd spend more time on their storylines. Anyway, what else from E3? Anything else?
Phoenix Wright 5.
You.
I wish.
That didn't happen.
Yeah, no, it didn't happen. That was announced way back in 2006. When did it was announced? 2 weeks after Apollo Justice came out. So I think that was 2006 or 2008.
I think 2008. I don't think it was that long ago.
Yeah, 2008 then. Yeah. Well, we still haven't seen anything on it because the guy who in charge of the project has made 2 other games since then.
Oh, they weren't showing Ghost Trick at all, were they?
They showed it, but nobody reported on it.
Oh.
One person reported on it. Okay, my sister's mad at me, so I guess we have to wrap it up.
Oh.
So that's it for the E3 podcast. This has been podcast number 26. My name is Michael.
I'm Paul.
I'm Lizo.
Thank you very much for listening.